Kitchen.
No other girl like you. No one can love me like you can. Nobody else. Can I say it again? Makes no sense how much you love me. Nobody else can do the things you do. I thought our hope was lost. Never thought I'd make it out. Then came you.
What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? To get all the other stuff out of here, man. Shout out. That's my man. It's my frat brother, Kenny Telsey. Shout out to him for that song. Yo, it's on all streaming platforms. So definitely go check it out. Every week I want to try to highlight artists that is out there but not really out there, that's trying to grow but has quality music, and I want to shout him out real quick. So shout out to Kenny Telsey. I hope you're seeing this, bro. But yeah, listen, welcome once again to the Reimagining Worship podcast. I am your host, Trevor Chin. I have the privilege of being a host here. If you're new here, hey, listen, you know what I mean? Like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. But what Reimagining Worship is, the mission of Reimagining Worship is to foster an environment that inspires and empowers creatives within the church, celebrating their unique gifts and harnessing their talents to enhance worship experiences. We are committed to nurturing a community that values creativity as an expression of faith, fostering connection with Jesus. So, hey, listen, that's what this is. That's who we are. That's what this is about. And right now, we are about to jump into part 3 of a multi-part series. I'm not sure what that is, but we're talking through not finding your next worship leader, not hiring your next worship leader, not hiring a company to find your next worship leader, but developing your next worship leader. Developing your next worship leader. I wanted to do this one again, and if you haven't checked out episode 1 or episode 2 in this season, I want to encourage you to do that, just because I want to walk through the entire thing every week. And I said this last week, every week I get more and more questions around what does you have someone to lead worship, man, what's up? Do you have someone that can do this? You have someone that can do that? I need a creative director and all that kind of stuff. And I get it. And the needs are real and all the kind of good stuff. But truth is we need to do the work of development. If we who are in this worship leader space now, or a seat now, if we think back to our origins, there was someone that gave us a chance. There was someone that invested in us, someone that helped us out, someone that paid for lessons, someone that gave us an opportunity to begin with. All of y'all, listen, there's a few prodigies, but y'all wasn't killing it now. Just let's there's a few of us that feel like, oh, yo, man, when I started, I was killing it. Beloved, you weren't. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. All them go ahead babies. That was encouragement. That wasn't because you was killing it. So, but someone gave you a chance. Someone gave you a start. And praise God, you're not where you were then. Now, so. Oh, well, that's the hope. So either way, I'm being facetious, but like I just wanted to kind of continue to go through this series and what it looks like to really develop the next iteration of worship leaders. Maybe you have teens, or like even a youth band, or people who are interested to begin with. Like, these are some of the basic steps to be able to help develop the next squad. So the third iteration, the third chapter, the third section, third episode, whatever, is building relationships within the band. Building relationships within the band. Now, there's a lot of things that kind of go along with that. We're talking about recruiting. We're talking about care. We're talking about relationship, all that kind of stuff. All that kind of goes into building relationships within the band, developing the band, what consists of the band. All that kind of stuff is going to be in this section. But I remember I used to love watching all those shows, all those biopics, like Temptations, 5 Heartbeats, Jackson 5, even like New Edition, all these different like biopics that told the story from the origin story of all of these artists. And one thing that always stands out is the relational dynamic that everything started on. These bands, these groups, they started from relationship. It wasn't on some well, back then more so, but it wasn't on some like, yeah, we just gonna put a band together and we have all these auditions. No, it was like, kids that grew up together singing, enjoying music together, all of that. That's what a lot of those early bands consisted of. And I really just appreciate watching the relational connection between, and they usually all end up the same. There's deep connection as kids. They get famous, money gets in the way, their head gets in the way, and then they fall out, and at the end of the movie, they kind of get back together and do some old school movies together. That's kind of the general gist of most of those style movies. But one thing it does is highlight the relational aspect of all those things. So, needless to say, just wanted to talk through this a little bit today. This is going to be a little bit longer episode than I typically want them to be, but I just hope that you would hang on with me, and hopefully that the content is an encouragement for you. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first big piece of building relationships within the band, within your team, is understanding group dynamics. Understanding group dynamics. With every group is going to come unique group dynamics. I've mentioned this in a few other podcasts. Like there are going to be more emotional moods within the creative arts team, whatever side of creative arts team that is, worship, band, production, whatever. There's going to be more moods and feelings because, listen, creative folks are more feely and more moody. That's what makes us good at our thing. Like, it's just I call it emotionally fluid. We're just very emotionally fluid. But within these same team dynamics of how to develop these teams, how to care for these teams, how to understand these group dynamics, there's a few things that you can do. The first thing is active listening. Practice attentive listening to understand each team member's perspective. This helps in recognizing the unique contributions and concerns of each individual. Practice attentive listening to understand each team member's perspective. Part of a worship leader's role and job is to see what the strengths are of his team and to see how they fit within the structure of the existing band. Now, if you're starting from scratch, I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. But I think for me, and this is a personal thing that I have. The role is not to have everyone conform to your style or to your stylistic liking. The role is to see what people's passionate styles are and see how their sound can be incorporated within the sound of the house. Now, I do believe that every house has a sound, and that's very important. But like, if someone plays cello and y'all typically are going a different direction, does that person not to get to utilize their giftings for worship and for music because they play cello and doesn't fit? Or do you find a way how they can fit within the what's name? So my argument is, listen, if you want to be a part of the team, you want to contribute to the team, if you want to utilize your gifting, then we need to be able to find a space for you. In that, each person has an active role on the team, and understanding where their backgrounds, their pressure points, what encourages them, what's helpful, what's not helpful, all of those mean so much when you're leading. All is just good information when you're leading, how to lead, communication style, all that. So active listening is a super, super important part of this team building. The second idea is regular check-ins. What does a regular check-in look like? Conduct regular one-on-ones or even group check-ins. Find time for prayer. I'll just share this real quickly. Like, Sunday is a crazy day, and I want to be very intentional about pushing the opposite direction of what church culture wants us to do. Oh, it's go time. It's game day. It's Sunday. We got to go. We got to run. We got to move. There's multiple. I want to intentionally push against that, because that's burnout. That's frustration. That's disappointment. That's all that kind of stuff. So there's super intentional times that I have set in Sunday morning. Yes, we need to sound check. Yes, we need to make sure these parts are right. Yes, we need to make sure these transitions are right. But we take about 12 to 15 minutes every Sunday before we do a full run through of a check-in, a group check-in. What are you praying for in this season? What are you trusting God for in this season? What are some prayer requests that you have for others? And how can me or someone on this team better care or support you? And then we spend some time in prayer and then a mini devotion. And then we pray again. But like, allowing some of these regular check-in times just to be around care, to be around support, to be around, listen, you're valued, you're heard. I love you. You're on this team. I want to support you. How can I encourage you? So regular check-ins. And then the other piece is even one-on-ones, like how, here's a question that leaders can ask and should ask, and it will show them a lot about themselves. How can I better lead you in this season? How can I be a better leader? Where have I dropped the ball in leadership? All of these questions are, they communicate humility, and they communicate that you really care about the individual and want to see them actually grow. So the first one was active listening. Second one is regular check-ins. The third one is team building activities. Engage in activities outside of regular worship practice. Like I said this on my Instagram recently, like don't make it rehearsal to Sunday. That cannot be your regular meeting flow. Rehearsal to Sunday. People do not hear me, and I'm telling you on this one. In most cases, people do not join a team to serve on. They look for a community to be a part of. People do not look for a team to join. They look for a community to be a part of. So you saying this is an opportunity for you to be able to just be on a team and then we go from rehearsal to Sunday is not something that is an encouragement to most people, especially within the creative team. Folks are looking for a community to be a part of. So find activities, find outlets, whether even if it's music. I mean, even if an extended rehearsal, maybe it's an outing. For me, I do a lot of things around food. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, listen, just a party and food always just works. Summertime's coming up pretty well, not soon. It's January, but I'm looking forward to summertime. But when summertime comes up, I do barbecues once a month. And just other opportunities to be able to encourage a team, support the team, all the kind of good stuff. But not only that, those also serve as onboarding opportunities for other people, for other members or other people that want to join the team. So if you have regular hangout outside of worship events, now you have something else that you can invite someone to be a part of, to where they can get the culture, they can see what's going on, they can feel the feels, understand how y'all operate without being a committed part of the team. So team building activities is huge. I could go on and on and on about that one because I'm super passionate about that one. Competition, hanging, chilling, all that also expose or show people's authentic or genuine personality. So that's another way that you can observe. You could be an active listener. Like I said, for point one, you could be an active listener there. But let me move on. Active listening, regular check-ins, team building activities. The fourth one is encourage open communication. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but in rehearsal, in one-on-ones, in the group check-ins, like encourage open communication. If there's something that's bothering you, do the Matthew 18 piece. Like, if there's someone, if your brother has offended you, like go to him, like whatever, like encourage some of this open communication. Within reason, with respect, with bumpers, with guide rails, all that kind of good stuff. And the fifth and last one in this idea is observe and reflect. Take time to observe interactions within the team and reflect on how different personalities and roles influence a group's behavior and performance. This is huge. This is huge because this is on the good side, on the positive side. This is where you can, when you're observing and reflecting, this is where you can see who is another potential leader. This is where you can see who displays leadership qualities, or who displays shepherding qualities, or who displays technological stuff where like, oh, I would really love to be a part of the presentation. Like I can see us moving from here to here. Like This is where you can see where people can be better placed, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But this is where you can see where people can be better placed on the team. On the other side, on the other hand, this is also where you can see where potential cancers are, where potential toxic traits are, and things that you need to address, encourage, all that kind of good stuff. So observe and reflect. So those are the ideas. So understanding the group dynamics, active listener, regular check-ins, team building activities, encourage open communication, and observe and reflect. Next idea is selecting team members. The ability to select team members is crucial and extremely important as it pertains to a worship and creative arts team. This is not the opportunity where we're talking about people who are willing but not able. We need willing and able, like not willing but can't do it. Now, I'm not saying that there's not space for development. I've already communicated the need for development. And all I talk about is development. So I'm not saying non-development. I'm saying, if someone has never played piano before, Sunday might not be the best opportunity for them to be able to play keys on Sunday morning. I'm just saying. So selecting team members, but there's a few ideas in this. The first one is assess spiritual maturity. Look for individuals, and again, we're talking about developing worship leaders, but look for individuals who demonstrate a strong and growing faith. This is crucial for a worship team's spiritual impact. Episode 2, I talked about just the spiritual nature of being a worship leader. So I don't want to spend too much time here, but go check that last episode out if you haven't. But our job is spiritual growth and development, and helping people look more and more like Jesus. So spiritual growth or spiritual maturity or a desire for spiritual maturity is key. So we continue to push people that direction. Number 2, in terms of selecting team members, you want to evaluate musical skill and potential. Consider the current skill level and consider the potential skill level. There was a coach that once said that as long as they can do it 60% of what you can do it with upward mobility. So to replace you is not on some, they got to do as best I can. No. 60% with upward mobility, or with space to grow, or room to grow, or capacity to grow. 60% with upward mobility, I think, will help us find people that have the potential to one day grow into this space. Again, I'll say it again. You did not wake up like this. I don't care what Beyonce says. You ain't wake up like this. You have spent time in development, repetition, to where you are now. So again, allow people to give that space, but you can still evaluate that musical skill and potential. The third idea is consider personality and team fit. Pay attention to how a person's personality might fit with the existing team dynamics. Team harmony is essential for effective ministry. This is huge. I talked about it a little bit more, even in the observe and reflect point, but you want to be careful to not invite someone who can potentially be damaging to the overall heart and culture and vibe and energy of the team. Like, the team dynamics are so important. Be very intentional when inviting people onto the team, and allow them to give them some kind of outline, rubric, culture guide, all that kind of stuff, for the team, so they have clear expectations about what is being expected of them and how this team operates. But you want to be careful just bringing anyone in, because this can be difficult, and depending on you, if you bring in the wrong person, it can really do a lot of damage to your team. Committed folks that's on your team can leave. Like, I've experienced this in a lot of ways, but keep that in mind also. Next idea is look for commitment and reliability. What are you willing and able to commit to in this season? That's my number one question. Oftentimes, like, I'm not asking you to lead and serve every single Sunday, but what are you willing to commit to month to month? Are you willing to say that I can do 2 times a month, 3 times a month? I'm not saying you're going to be up that many times, but like what's your commitment level? This is huge. You'll be able to find, once again, you'll be able to sift out leaders versus team members versus non-team members. in this one. And the last thing is pray for guidance in selecting team members. This gets difficult. Pray. I'm never one that just wants to put prayer just as like on the back end, just as a like, well, it just at worst just pray. No, I'm saying like make this intentional part of that. So selecting team members, you want to assess spiritual maturity, evaluate musical skill and potential, consider personality and team fit, look for commitment and reliability, and pray for guidance. Next big section is cultivating a shared vision. Cultivating a shared vision. Cultivating a shared vision. You don't want to have a vision or a direction that you're going that everyone else is not on board with or unclear about, or everyone's kind of bringing their own stuff to the table. No, have a clarified vision and then communicate that vision. And these are the ways that you can help cultivate a shared vision within that team. I found it difficult, and even for my own self, for people to continue to follow a vision that only you hold. They'll roll with you to a point, but if they don't have that vision in their own heart, in their own DNA, there's going to come a time where rubber meets the road, where their vision and your vision collide. And that's where conflict happens. Be careful with that. This is why you need a continued shared vision. This is a vision that this team holds. This isn't my kingdom. This isn't, this isn't my team. This isn't my thing. This is our thing. And these are the ways how you can do that. 1, clearly articulate the vision and ensure that the vision for the worship team is clearly defined and communicated to all the team members. One of the things, like I said, with that is a culture guide. Culture guide can shows the mission, vision, values, structure, leadership structure, development structure. And if you want, I think I have this as one of the resources on my website. I should have said this earlier, trevorchin.com or reimagineworship.org. You can go on there, click on worship leader resources, and I have my culture guide that I developed for my team on there now. But you could check that out. But it clearly defines everything around worship and creative arts. How to join the team, how to step down from the team, the term of commitment that you're agreeing to, even the little covenant that you can sign, dress code, like all is abundantly clear about what the vision for the worship team is. So clearly articulate that vision, write it down, put it on your hand, make it a document, send it to folks, review it monthly at rehearsals, something. So create a shared vision. The first thing you want to do is clearly articulate the vision. The second thing is involve team members in the vision development. Encourage team members to contribute their ideas and perspectives. This involvement can lead to a sense of ownership and commitment to the shared vision. This is what you want. You want ownership and commitment to the shared vision. You want people to walk in this worship team vision like it is their own, because it is. Give them the opportunities to be able to give input. Give them the opportunities to communicate what's next. Let them know. Let them handle an aspect of it. Find out, again, like I said earlier, find out some of those gifts and abilities that they have, and let them run in that direction. So involve them in the vision creation process, in the vision development process, so they can be more involved, so it could be a shared vision within the team. I promise, if you continue to communicate what your vision is, there's going to come a time where their vision and your vision collide and conflict will arise. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you, trust me, it will collide. Third idea is regular vision reinforcement. Frequently revisit and reinforce the vision during team meetings, practices, to keep it at the forefront of all team activities. Consistently point back to that vision. Consistently point back to that culture guide. Consistently point back. Communicate it at a monthly meeting. Communicate it when you're in the backyard doing barbecues. Communicate it when you're communicate what this doggone vision is. Regular reinforcement. Align goals with the vision. Set specific, measurable goals that align with the overall vision. This helps in translating the vision into actionable steps. What you do not want to have is this grandiose vision statement that's just this ambiguous thing that does not have any action items and does not push the ball up the hill. You want to continue to move the ball forward. Sorry for the sport euphemism, but You want to find ways to continue to have actionable, smart goals that you can do to continue to push the vision forward. What is that? What does it look like? All that. So align some goals with the vision. Have a 1 month goal, a 3 month, 1 month, a quarter, a year, and a 5 year, and I have a 10 year also. Like, what are long-term goals that you have for your team? Communicate those. Know what they are, and then reference those to make sure that you're not skimping on those. And the last one is celebrate milestones and success. Recognize and celebrate achievements and milestones that reflect the realization of the shared vision. This reinforces the team's commitment and progress towards the vision. This even goes with the aligned goals. Once you complete a goal or get through a goal, or you onboard a new team member, or a new worship leader is developed and gets their first opportunity, celebrate those. You celebrate what you want to have repeated. Celebrate what you want to have repeated. So celebrate when Yellow Knocking goes out. Celebrate when the team has an amazing Sunday. Take them to dinner. Do 2 rotisserie chickens and a bag of salad. Like, enjoy those moments, because the Sunday to Sunday rat race can become very, very monotonous. So within cultivating a shared vision, you want to clearly articulate the vision, involve team members in vision development, regular vision reinforcement, align goals with the vision, and celebrate milestones and success. I'm going to move forward a little bit faster for the last few. The next one, just let's go. The next one is roles and responsibilities. Clarity in roles and responsibilities ensures that each team member can contribute their best. This part of the chapter addresses how to assign and embrace roles within the team, promoting responsibility and accountability while nurturing individual growth. This part is important just because you want everyone to be on the same page. You want them to understand what they got going on, what their role is, what their responsibility is, what their own personal goals are, what they're being held accountable to. So just be extremely clear about this one, but I'm going to move through these pretty quick. The first idea in assessing or giving clarity around these roles and responsibilities, you want to assess individual strengths and skills. Don't have someone that's not technologically savvy be in charge of inputting everything in the planning center. On the other side, don't have someone that doesn't listen to music on a regular basis be the one picking the songs. So assess the strengths and the skills of each member. Each member has unique gifts that they all can bring to the table. Maybe some people are less of the I enjoy when the worship and creative arts team is comprised of people that do not sing or play an instrument, because there's still different roles on this team depending on your church or team size, whatever. There's still roles and opportunities for you to cultivate some creative gifting. Maybe those people are content creators, and where they're grabbing videos from rehearsal. Maybe those people are, like I said, pro presenter. They're at rehearsal and they're putting pro presenter stuff in. Maybe they're Instagram. They're kind of gathering content. Maybe they're songwriters but can't sing a lick. Like, all of these things are opportunities. So think through developing your team beyond who can sing and who can play an instrument, but assess individual strengths and skills, and so you can place people in the proper places. The second idea is consider personal passions and interests. This goes with the first idea. Align roles with each member's passion and interest for greater engagement and fulfillment. Hear me. I promise this one. This is huge. Folks will run in a space of joy and privilege if they enjoy what they're doing. If they're walking within their regular purpose, if they're walking within their regular giftedness that they really enjoy, something that they're passionate about, they will run a lot longer and a lot faster. So consider those personal passions and interests. The third one is offer opportunities for growth. This is an opportunity for development. This is spaces like, hey, listen, maybe you want to learn how to do more video, but you don't know how to do video right now. Offer opportunities to be able to do that. One thing I'm doing right now is the first 6 weeks of this year. Like, if you wanted to join the creative team, but you're not extremely creative, hop on this team for 6 weeks and I'll do it. I'm doing a development course with you. Like, let's see how you fit. This is how we operate. This is how you function the camera. These are the camera settings that you can use. These are even the phone settings that you can use. 4K, 24 frames a second, all that kind of good stuff. How to get cleaner audio, like have opportunities for growth within the team, and for people that want to join the team. Encourage role rotation. Don't let anyone get too comfortable in a space. Encourage them to grow. Encourage them to find someone else to develop, to do what they're doing, especially if they're very proficient. Encourage them to do that with somebody else. For the person who might be a drummer but can also play bass very well, and you have secondary drummer but not a secondary bass player, switch out. Like, let the person potentially play a little bit of bass just so he can grow and develop in that space. Now, again, I want to consider personal passions and interests. If they hate bass but they know how to play, we're having a different conversation. I'm not saying just keep people miserable. But occasionally rotate roles to foster versatility and empathy within the team. So, and the last one is communicate your expectations clearly. This goes back to even the culture guide. Make sure folks know exactly what's being expected of them, and what's being asked of them. Nothing is worse than them being like, I didn't know that you wanted all this from me. I didn't know that this role required this. That's not what you want. So assess individual strengths and skills, consider personal passions and interests, offer opportunities for growth, encourage role rotation, and communicate expectations clearly. 3 last ones, and then we're out of here. I promise. Conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is gonna be needed. I'm gonna drink my whack coffee today. Hey, super sidebar. Shameless plug. Go out, maybe Home Goods, places like this. They're selling the Christmas coffees for like super cheap right now. This is gingerbread cookie, but anyways, that was coffee's kicking in now. Conflict resolution. When you have people, you're going to have conflict. More people you put into place, the more conflict you're going to have. Things are going to come up. Things are going to be said. I had a pastor friend of mine who once said, when you show up to a meeting, you show up. When you show up, you show up. Now, that's weird and redundant, but like, when you show up, your personality shows up. Like, and within a team dynamic and a healthy community space, like, you're not going to be able to fake who you are forever. Eventually, who you are is going to show up. When that person shows up, when the authentic shows up, and multiple people, someone had a bad day, someone, having an argument with their spouse, kids just got in trouble. Like, all these things happen, and they show up, things are going to happen. Conflict is going to happen. How do you deal with conflict resolutions? 5 quick points, and I'm going to be pretty quick on this one. Foster open communication, encourage sharing of concerns. Bring this before the Lord, yo. Just bring it before the Lord. Like, this is why there's intentional time of prayer even before rehearsal. Like, spend intentional time of prayer. Not an opening prayer. Don't spend an opening prayer. Spend time in prayer. Time in prayer. What's on your heart? How is your day? What's going on? Let's pray about that. And then now, 2 things, because we talked about this even earlier, just open communication. What happens is now the whole team hears you having a really rough day. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. Now they're more empathetic to the individual, and you're praying, you're bringing this before the Lord. Like, yo, Lord, they're dealing with this, and this. And potentially it would be able to snip some of that stuff before it even sprouts. The second idea is practice active listening to understand different perspectives. Same thing I said before. Third is empathize, respect, and empathy in discussion. And again, that's even in that prayer time. Highlight that, communicate, even encourage the team. Like, hey, listen, y'all, we're going to just lay hands on this person. We're going to just pray for this person tonight, as they've really been dealing with a whole lot. Seek solutions collaboratively, focusing on common goals. Sometimes there is an issue that can be resolved with support from a team. Sometimes just not. Sometimes it just needs time. Whether if it's family related, like sometimes it's not the case. But if there's a personal issue, My car broke down. My battery is bad. Well, and I ain't got no money. Well, maybe we could put together a quick pot of $100 to be able to help support to get you a battery. Give me from the team. So find those solutions, collaborative, but also be able to differentiate between what needs support, what needs an answer, what needs a solution, versus they just need some time to be heard or pray, whatever. And the last one is involve a neutral third party for mediation. If major conflicts happens, and these people just can't kind of get it together, don't avoid it. Don't push it under the rug. Don't skip around it. Maybe it's time for actual conversation, mediation, because the role of us is restoration. We want to care for one another. We want to be there for one another. We want to support one another. And in the community, messy stuff happens. Messy stuff happens with anyone you're in real relationship with. Authentic relationship equates to occasional conflict. It is what a doggone is, but be intentional with that time. So open communication and encourage sharing of concerns in prayer. Practice active listening. Emphasize empathy. Seek solutions collaboratively, and if needed, bring in a third party. Last two, spiritual bonding. Spiritual bonding. This goes without saying. It's not all about chicken on the grill or even Thursday and Sunday rehearsal. Discipleship needs to take place at some place. Spiritual growth needs to take place at some point. Regularly share and discuss spiritual experiences and insights. What's going on with your heart? How's your relationship with Jesus? What's your prayer life look like? What does fasting mean to you? All these kind of things. Regularly encourage that. Organize joint prayer and worship sessions. This is super easy for the worship team. Have a worship night just for y'all. Like have it. We're doing something like that with someone on Saturday. Have a worship night just for the worship team and the creative arts team, to where the people who are like, it's an extended time of rehearsal. Even that's happened a few times, even upstairs right this second. My wife is running a rehearsal with the vocalist, and I look up at the clock and it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and them jokers is up there singing the same song over and over. And I'm like, what is y'all doing? But they are just having just a time of worship. Like, be super intentional about that. Participate in a Bible study or devotional groups together. If you can, if you have the ability and if you have the space, I would deeply encourage to find a way to break out of the monotonous Sunday to Sunday stuff and push in a devotional time in there somewhere, period. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. But participate in Bible study devotional groups together. Encourage sharing personal testimonies. I told you within that same time in prayer, I'm like, what are you asking God for? What do you believe in God for? What happened this week that we can celebrate with you? All that can happen there in that time. And then engage in service projects as a team, strengthening spiritual bonds through shared acts of kindness. This is just serving. Find opportunities to serve one another, especially if you're in the city. There's multiple opportunities that you can be able to find to serve as a team, because the only place that we serve is not just on stage. One thing I'll say is we serve on the stage and in the streets. So, but the 5 things: regularly share and discuss spiritual experiences, organize joint prayer and worship sessions, participate in Bible studies or devotional groups together, encourage sharing of personal testimonies, and engage in service projects as a team. The last idea is celebrating successes and milestones. This one's going to be quick, but this is super important. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. This was one of the bullet points underneath another heading, but spend time to celebrate. Spend time to enjoy and engage with one another. Here are the ideas around this. Recognize individual and team achievements publicly. Emails are great. Text messages are great. Phone calls are great. But an acknowledgement as a group is better, period. Host special gatherings or meal to celebrate those milestones. I talked about that earlier. Share the stories of success in team meetings to inspire others. That goes to the point of whatever you want to see duplicated or repeated, you celebrate. Offer personal notes of appreciation or small tokens of acknowledgement. Get in the habit of get you a pack of cards, thank you cards, stock thank you cards. You can, if you want to get them from the dollar store. and just write handwritten thank you notes. In a day of digital everything, handwritten notes go so far. That's all I say with that one. And the last one is reflect on the journey and growth, not just the outcome, to appreciate the collective effort. This is an idea that you're going back to those goals. You're going back to the to the SMART goals that you establish and set, even within the culture guide and all that kind of stuff. Like, how are things going? How are things being developed? How are you feeling? We're gonna look at these goals. We're gonna see the ones that we knocked off, and we're gonna say, we're not where we were a year ago. We're not where we were 2 years ago. We're not even where we were last month. We've made improvements. We've added this many people to the team, this much spiritual growth and development. This person is growing deeper in their faith with Jesus. Celebrate those opportunities. So celebrate success and milestones is huge for the team, because you need something when you're thinking even through the vision of the team. You need something to grab a hold on. You need something to grasp onto, just by way of joy and encouragement. So, needless to say, thanks y'all for listening. That was a lot. I know it was a lot. I try to keep my episodes around 15 minutes. This was, I don't know how long we at right this second, but I'm super passionate about the team development side. But again, don't forget to check out all my resources on reimaginingworship.org or trevorchin.com. I have videos on there. For a one-time fee of $20, you can get an all-access pass, and you get access to all of my in-person trainings that I've done over the last year, along with some extra stuff and some music and all that kind of good stuff. And there's also a bunch of free stuff on my website as well, where you can go on and download. And I took most of the logo stuff off, so you can just put your logo on it and move forward if you like it. So, but thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend that we're going to be at it again next week. New episode. Next week, we're talking about conducting with authority and humility. Ooh, authority and humility. So, until next time, thanks for watching.
Teaching.